Hey there. I am here to announce a new series that I am going to make posts on called Facilitation Learnings, mainly from my mistakes series. Um, I'm feeling a bit rebellious, a bit countercultural lately. I've gone through a big internal process, and part of it has been about first fighting and then slowly embracing the things I don't like about myself as a practitioner and a facilitator. I'm a person who loves learning and loves continuous improvement. Um, but sometimes it can come at my own cost because some of my style pieces I just can't change, no matter how hard I try. They're part of who I am. And part of the challenge, I guess, for me in that has been that a lot of them feel a bit countercultural, in facilitation, particularly. And I have a feeling that I am not alone in feeling that. Anyhow, part of that rebellious kind of countercultural streak in me had this idea of sharing my learnings as I go on my path to growing my practice as facilitator, which doesn't sound very rebellious when I put it like that. But really, most of my learnings come from my mistakes. And given that a lot of my work involves people hiring me, or contracting me or getting me in to facilitate something for them or coaching them or working with them or teaching them or running trainings. Talking about and promoting my mistakes is probably not necessarily a good move. And here's the rebellious part. So I've got a bit tired of this internal idea and sometimes external idea that I have to get everything right. It's really stifling for me and it's not creative at all. So this year, I am leaning in more to the part that's a bit more warts and all. This is my inspiration. What you can see. It looks like a woman dying, and maybe a part of me is dying. It is dying away. It's Japanese Butoh. Butoh is a Japanese avant-garde performance art form that came about in the 1950s, really as a reaction and a response to the more reserved and repressed parts of Japanese culture. And essentially, and I'm no Butoh scholar, but essentially, it's kind of this idea that we're socialized and um, our movement, in terms of Butoh, our movement is also socialized. So we have this socialized way of moving. And Butoh was all about kind of digging up and uncovering and bringing out unconscious ways of moving that weren't maybe socially acceptable. Um, it's often unabashedly messy and ugly. It's sometimes called the dance of darkness. I'm probably scaring people now. It's physical. It's really emotive. It's raw. It's primal, and it's really powerful. And really, it's about humanity in all of its parts, not just the nice bits. So I'm really curious. How does this relate to facilitation? I'm really curious about the parts of our practice that we don't like. And because I'm curious about that, because I know from my own experience and through working with others that deep underneath those parts is often our power. Um, and I'm super passionate about working with people on that because A, there is nothing that is more amazing than seeing people step into their own personal power. Maybe just for me, but I love it. I absolutely love it. And two, because I genuinely believe that we need all of our differences and we hide them at society's loss. And so we need them to be able to bring out that diversity and harness it to collectively face our future. We need it. I also think that some of these standards are a setup and actively work against us leaning into our differences. I think we set ourselves up. Um, and I think particularly we set leaders up on this. You know, when we have unrealistic or constrained expectations of each other, it makes us all less likely to test and try things, to take risks, because we've got a fear of failure or public shame. And that has ramifications for what we can achieve. It limits us. This is not to say we don't need rigor. Yes, we need to have rigor. Yes, we need to take things seriously. And we need to, but we also need to give ourselves permission to try and make a mess and be light sometimes too. So as part of that, I am leaning into the part that is a bit less desirable Japanese perfection and a bit more Japanese Butoh in my practice. And I'm not sure what it's going to look like here, but this is me crossing my own edge to start this. So it's going to be about what I'm exploring and learning, um, probably with a huge kind of vein of mistake making in there. Um, and I'm still running trainings throughout the year, and I'm still working with different groups, and I'm still seeing individual clients. And heads up, you're going to see some plugs for that, including today. It's all in the link. See, it's just all out on the table. Blech. Finally, and this is the really important bit for me here. I'm curious about what other people think about this. I've got this idea for maybe a an interview series about facilitation mistakes and lessons learnt, or something like that. So I'm curious to see whether anybody is interested in that or would be interested in that, or has ideas about that, or something more about this kind of less perfect, more messy learning vein. Um, yeah, that's it. Stay tuned. Look out for the Butoh. And yeah, I'll see you soon.